What is up, guys? Today we'll be comparing the Samsung Galaxy A20 to the LG G7 Thinq. So both these phones surprisingly cost the same amount, and you'll see the benefits and trade-offs with both these phones. So it's pretty interesting. They both cost around 200 bucks. You can find them cheaper on eBay, of course. Let's go ahead and get into it with the hardware. Now with the A20, you do have a plastic build on the back, and it is kind of a fingerprint smudge magnet, but it still feels really premium, and it holds a very nice premium weight to it, which I really love. So you won't really tell that it's kind of a budget phone. You do have a dual camera setup on the back with the flash, fingerprint scanner, Samsung logo up here. On the sides you have the power button and the volume rocker, and then on this side you don't have anything. And down below you have the 3.5mm jack with the USB Type-C and the single firing speaker. Now with the G7, this is the red version, and it's a glass and metal frame. Feels very premium. As far as weight, they both actually kind of feel the same as far as weight wise, but this does feel like the more premium device. Of course, you can't really beat glass and metal. You do have a dual camera setup, fingerprint scanner, little G7 logo, flash right here. Now you've got the Google Assistant button, the volume rockers, and then you got your power button on this side. The headphone jack and USB Type-C is down here, along with the single firing speaker. Now here's what's pretty interesting. You have a Super AMOLED display on the Galaxy A20, and it is very beautiful, very color accurate, deeper blacks on the A20 as you can see, and it just looks very nice. It's a 720p display though, so it's not as sharp as the G7, and it's a 268 for the PPI. Now with the G7, it's a 6.1 inch display, and this is a 1440p display, 564 for the PPI, and it's just really beautiful, very sharp. Now it's not as color accurate as the Super AMOLED display, but it is very nice. Colors still look good and great on here. So as far as displays, I really prefer just the sharper display, but I really love the colors and prefer the colors on the Super AMOLED. Now when watching videos, as you can see, the Galaxy A20's display is much bigger at 6.4 inches, but you have a just sharper display, so you can watch in 1440p as opposed to 720p, and you can definitely tell a difference in 1440p versus 720p. It's extremely sharp, very nice, but like I said, the colors look great, so you have to make that trade-off on which display you prefer, the bigger display but lower res, or the smaller display with a higher res. Let's go ahead and check out the speaker quality, starting with the G7. And let's go ahead and listen to the A20. So as you can see, the A20 almost sounds muffled compared to the G7. The bass and kicks are not hitting as hard. Mids are not as clear. It just almost sounds like somebody's covering it compared to the G7. Now with the G7, you have Android 9 Pie, the Snapdragon 845, and the Adreno 630 processor, along with micro SD support up to 1 terabyte, 64 gigabytes of storage, and 4 gigs of RAM. Now with the A20, you have Android 9 Pie as well as the Exynos 7884, the Mali G71 GPU, micro SD support also up to 1 terabyte, 32 gigs of internal storage, and 3 gigs of RAM. Now both phones are very smooth when you're just scrolling through and bouncing in and out of applications, but that G7 does have the superior specs, the Snapdragon 845, and that Adreno CPU is just superior. You can play pretty much every game on high, from Call of Duty to Fortnite. It blows it out the water. With this one, it's kind of like a low to mid gaming chip. So just know that, but like I said, you have that trade-off, the big display, a little Samsung Infinity U notch, and you have kind of a bigger notch with the G7, which doesn't really bother me, but I think most people will prefer the smaller notch over this big one. Alright, let's go ahead and run a quick speed test. So I've cleared out all applications. I'm going to start off with YouTube. 3, 2, 1. G7. Play Store. 3, 2, 1. And let's go ahead and try Call of Duty Mobile. 3, 2, 1. So that was almost pretty even, right? Very, very close. Alright, let's move on to the camera. So you have a 13 megapixel wide and a 5 megapixel ultra wide on the A20. It shoots in 1080p, and you also have an 8 megapixel selfie camera. Now on the G7 you have a 16 megapixel standard and a 16 megapixel ultra wide that shoots in 2160p, and you have a selfie camera that shoots in 8 megapixels. Alright, so photos on here, outdoor photos, I'm taking the A20 all day. I mean, it's just really amazing. The A20 can do. It's just color accurate. You get a lot of detail in the images. Samsung's image processing is really, really good. And with the G7, it seems to just have a lot of, it's not a bad photo, and it has a lot of detail in it. It's just the color accuracy is just not right. It's really off sometimes. As you can see, it's almost like two completely different pictures. Now when it comes to close-up shots, I think the G7 does a much better job. As you can see, we have just much more detail in the photo, and it just looks really good, very sharp. And also, if we look at the Funko Pops, I think it's a draw pretty much, because they both look really good. Color accuracy is right. You get a lot of detail. They just take really good photos. The Galaxy A20 is just really amazing for its price point, even being a budget phone. So it's just really nice. As you can see, they both take excellent photos indoors. As far as the selfie camera goes, they both kind of are soft and kind of lacking detail, so they both they really look the same. I give it like a tie. So you've got NFC on both these guys, so you can make mobile payments no problem. As far as the fingerprint scanner goes, it's very fast on both phones. I haven't really noticed any problem with it. As you can see, it's pretty much instant. They both work really nice. You have face unlock on both, and it's very fast on both. So as far as getting into the phone, they both are very fast. Alright, so here is another trade-off. So you have a 3000 milliamp battery, 18-watt fast charging, along with wireless charging as well. So you're getting around 6 to 7 hours of battery life if you're a power user. Now on the A20 you have a 4000 milliamp battery. There is no wireless charging, and you're getting about 7 to 8 hours if you're a power user. So big difference in battery life. So you do get better battery life on the A20, but you have that wireless charging on here, and also 18-watt fast charging, which the A20 lacks. So both phones are very impressive. So what do you guys think? Which one would you guys get? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.